Has anyone noticed how California Governor Gavin Newsom keeps praising Donald Trump, while New York Governor Andrew Cuomo keeps attacking Donald Trump? There are a few reasons why that is. Number one, Trump doesn't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, he'll work with anyone to get things done. Number two, New York has mismanaged this crisis. And number three, California Governor Newsom doesn't see a possible backdoor opening up for him to get the Democratic nomination. Trump is a businessman. That means he wants to get things done. He wants to solve problems. He wants to come up with solutions. So it doesn't matter if you're the far-left governor of California, Trump is ready to go to work. But it sure matters to a lot of people on the left. Check out this question from Joy Behar on The View interviewing Governor Newsom.
Governor, it's no secret that you've had a combative relationship with Trump in the past. But lately, you've been praising him for the help he's giving. Well, of course, you have to, because look at how he treats governors who don't, kiss his ring. The governor of Washington, the governor of Michigan, he said they were not appreciative and told Mike Pence, don't call them back. Do you feel like you have to feed this guy's ego to get the respirators and to get the PPEs? Is that what's going on?
What an insult to Gavin Newsom. Are you kissing Trump's ring, Gavin? That's a lefty attacking another lefty simply because he's working with Donald Trump during this crisis. Now, check out his answer.
Well, let me just acknowledge the frame of your question. We're involved in over 68 lawsuits with the Trump administration. And so there's no question we have had our differences of opinion on many issues. But I just want to remind you and maybe others that are not aware of this. We've been at this since late January. California got a head start in many respects where no one was really paying much attention. We started working with the administration directly to get these repatriated flights from mainland China into the state of California. Many states turned their back on those flights and those repatriation missions. California embraced them. We also had that Grand Princess, that large cruise ship, where we worked very collaboratively with the federal government, developed strong relationships of trust around the emergency planning and how we can bring those passengers back into our diverse communities and all across the rest of the country. As a consequence of that, our relationship began earlier than most. And so from that perspective, all I can say is, from my perspective, the relationship has been strong, and I'm not doing it to kiss the ring. I'm not doing it in a way, that I'm just being forthright with the president. He returns calls. He reaches out. He's been proactive. We got that Mercy ship down here in Los Angeles. That was directly because he sent it down here. 2,000 medical units came to the state of California, these FMS, these field medical stations. And that's been very, very helpful. And to the extent we're going to need more, we will. And I'll let you know in a few weeks if that relationship continues.
Now, I would never vote for Newsom, but I appreciate his honesty. Here's a Democratic governor who's involved in over 68 lawsuits with the federal government, but on this issue, him and Trump have a good working relationship. You see, they both want the same outcome at the end of this, so it's possible for them to work together. On the other hand, Governor Cuomo in New York doesn't want the same outcome as President Trump. Cuomo wants to get the pandemic under control. I don't doubt that, but hurting Trump politically is also his goal. Plus, New York has mismanaged this crisis, so the more they can put the onus on the feds, the more Cuomo can slip responsibility and at the same time become a viable option for the Democratic nomination. I mean, this guy doesn't have a chance against Trump.
We choose truth over facts.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
It would put 720 million women back in the workforce.
I got hairy legs.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate.
Governor Cuomo recently said that it should be the responsibility of the federal government to supply the states with ventilators. However, in 2015, a 272-page report produced by the New York State Task Force on the Life and the Law and the New York State Department of Health said that in a pandemic situation like the 1918 Spanish flu, New York would be short about 16,000 ventilators. So since Cuomo says it should be the federal government's responsibility, did he talk to Obama back in 2015 about the need for ventilators in his state? Did he approach Trump about this issue after 45 was sworn into office? Cuomo's own government, the one he leads, said that they would need thousands more ventilators if something like this pandemic happened, and he didn't have his state stock up on ventilators. Nor did he approach the federal government about this issue, until it was too late. The truth is, all the stuff Gavin Newsom is praising Donald Trump for, Trump has done for New York. Trump sent the USNS Mercy Hospital ship to the port of Los Angeles. The USNS Comfort Hospital ship is docked in New York Harbor. And both states have emergency field hospitals set up by the Army that have thousands of beds. Ultimately, the tale of these two governors proves that Trump is working with states to help mitigate this crisis. It's just that most Democrats don't want to give credit where credit's due. And if you step out of line like Newsom has, another lefty will accuse you of kissing Trump's ring. As Dave, my blue-collar brother, pointed out in the video The Sun Sets on New York City, the population density in New York City alone puts it at a much higher risk for spreading a disease during a pandemic than any other place in America. And it's something that Governor Cuomo knew, at the latest, by 2015, and he didn't do anything about it. It reminds me of when Hurricane Katrina put New Orleans underwater. The Democrats quickly blamed President Bush for everything they could think of. Even today, they'll ask if the current situation we're in is Donald Trump's Katrina. But Ray Nagin, the mayor at the time in New Orleans, actually said in an interview that he knew the city would be devastated if a hurricane ever hit it, because of the poor shape the levees were in. And he did nothing about it. It was the Army Corps of Engineers who built the levees, but they were to be maintained locally. So whatever happened to Ray Nagin? In 2014, he was convicted on 20 charges of wire fraud, bribery, and money laundering related to bribes from city contractors before and after Katrina, and was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. But somehow, it's still remembered as George Bush's mistake for not being able to rescue hundreds of thousands of people in the blink of an eye. Look, every state has unique challenges, and it's up to those states to prepare for those challenges. It's not the federal government's job to prepare Alaska for harsh winters, or Florida for hurricane season, or California for the next big one. They do have resources to help during a crisis like the one we're having, and that's what they're doing. If Governor Cuomo would stop putting politics ahead of the people of New York, he'd find a kinder Donald Trump. But that won't happen because it would mean that he would have to admit New York was ill-prepared, and that would let Trump off the hook, so to speak. Democrats can't have too many prominent people out there praising Donald Trump like Gavin Newsom is. Ironically, it's California politicians who will soon try to bring Trump down over the federal government's response to the coronavirus outbreak, all while the guy sitting in their governor's mansion sings his praises. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to become a supporting member of Blue Collar Logic, click on the link in the description and give what you can.